Lions Report. I'm Jack Dolgen. Today, get pumped for an action-packed episode featuring the boys basketball playoff games. Or, shall I say, game. This squared off against Lawrence Woodmere, and what would truly be a nail-biting finish, I can promise you that, without two of their sophomore studs, Andrew Pax and Ben Fox. Also, we'll talk a little bit about the baseball and softball teams and how they look moving forward in the spring. We even have an interview with Ryan Thier, one of the baseball pitchers. You'll learn he is truly a charismatic athlete and scholar. But, on that note, get pumped for the Lions Report. It's about to begin. Alright, so without further ado, let's take you to the first round matchup. Horseman against Lawrence Woodmere. There's Nick Warner feeding it to Ace Cook down low, who puts it in. And then Elias Walk finds Bernie Rollins, who puts the biscuit in the basket. Gave Horseman an 8-point lead, which was their largest lead of the game. Sorry to spoil it for you Horseman Lion fans. And then Lawrence Woodmere with a 3-pointer right there. And then let's take it to the final seconds of the first quarter. We've got a buzzer beater. Lawrence Woodmere nails a 3-pointer to pull within a deuce of Horseman. So we skip along to the second quarter, and here's Mike Ledden somehow finding Thomas Schnepp down low in the paint to put it in. The seesaw was swinging the Lions' way, but not for long. There's Lawrence Woodmere with their own 3-pointer to get a 2-point lead. So here's a fast break for Horseman. Costa to Nick Weiner to Bernie Rollins. What a great play. No charge was called, but no charge was needed. Here's Lawrence Woodmere, though, slicing and dicing their way through the Horseman defense to get a 1-point lead. And then, fast break opportunity, they get an and one. Costa cannot get the defensive play to go, and so they were up by 6. However, Thomas Schnepp would take Horseman into the halftime with a 1-point lead, 33-32. Here's what the team had to say at the half.
Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3, defense!
Alright, so let's take it to the third quarter now, and here's Bernie Rollins going to school 2 defenders, and he gets the floater to go. But apparently that move was contagious, because here's Elias Walk doing the same thing. Let's see. Pump fake, check. Floater, check. Horseman lead, check. And then Thomas Schnepp sneaking behind the back lines of Lawrence Woodmere. Pivotal, he gets the layup to go, and Horseman was up by 5 points. But closing tickets of the third quarter now, and here's Lawrence Woodmere with a second chance opportunity. But this play would really haunt Horseman because Costa would turn the ball over, and Lawrence Woodmere was tied. The game was tied going into the fourth quarter. Horseman season on the line. So here is Nick Weiner going to dish it to Mike Ledden, and no charge was called. But that's not a problem. And then, dare I say, and Fuego. Thomas Schnepp was lighting the whole building up, including this spectacular 3-pointer to give Horseman a 4-point lead. But back on the other end was Lawrence Woodmere. They're going to split the Horseman defense and lead in half right here. The game was 54-52, but Captain Matt just rushed in with the stats, and apparently Thomas Schnepp had a whopping 37 points on the day, including this ridiculous 3-pointer to give Horseman a 5-point lead. Please dial 9 for long distance, because that was gym range. But Horseman leading by only 3 points right here, and Bernie Rollins cannot get the jump shot to go. So, Lawrence Woodmere right here. Rise and fire. Count it! They drained the 3-pointer to tie the game at 57, and the game would go to overtime. Horseman season really on the line, but they had a 3-point lead right here, and Nick Weiner going to get called for the reach and foul. So, it would be 2 shots for Lawrence Woodmere, and they made the first. And then, bam, they make the second shot, and so it was a 1-point game. Now, Horseman looking to extend that lead, less than a minute to go, but, oh, Stephen Hefter turns the ball over, and suddenly, Lawrence Woodmere had a chance to win the game. They're going to set up a play right here, but Horseman's determined not to let them score. They played great defense on this play, hands up, sliding in defense, and watch what happens. Lawrence Woodmere cannot score, and Bernie Rollins gonna get fouled. A great free throw shooter. You'd think Horseman would be in a great position to go to the second round. Oh, but Bernie Rollins cannot convert, and so Lawrence Woodmere still had a pulse. 7 seconds to go. They're looking to win the game. Watch what happens next. Clearly, an incredibly dramatic and heart-wrenching loss for the Lions, in what was such a valiant effort and one of their best games of the season. As we take another look, it would be this shot that would determine their entire season. They lost 64-62. Wow, what a tough loss. But unfortunately, as much as we would love to talk about Heartbreak City for the Lions, we're going to have to move on. This spring on the Lions Report, we'll be covering baseball and softball for Horace Mann. That being said, we got the chance to talk to Ryan Thier, one of the pitchers on the baseball team, and we had a very intimate conversation, as you're about to hear.
Sports Center.
The baseball team started off their season with a loss in extra innings to Rye Country Day, unfortunately. So, my first question for Ryan was to talk about the second game of the season, in which they won the game 11-4 over Trinity. Here's what he had to say.
It was a bare-knuckle brawl. We fell behind 2-0, and but we never gave up. The mood was always sanguine on the dugout. Bunch of cool cats on our team, so I know we never buried our heads in the sand. And then I had an RBI, and then Burko had a sac fly, and then it was 2-2. Then it was smooth sailing, like the Aegean Sea, as they call it.
For my second question, I asked Ryan the significance of getting that pivotal first win of the season.
It means a lot. I mean, we do think of ourselves as sprinters in the hurdles in the Olympics, more or less. And to get over that first hurdle is always important. It just makes it that much easier. Jesse did a Midland job, and it was good. And now move on to the next game.
I also couldn't help but notice Ryan's clothing choice, so for my third question, I asked him to discuss what it had to do with team spirit on the day.
Well, team spirit was to wear all black, so I figured this is a natural choice. And yeah, I think everyone would agree with that. We were supposed to keep it not too lively, not too many colors, so I just wanted to pick something pretty bland, something I wear every day. So.
Thanks so much, Ryan. Always nice to hear from you. I'd just like to apologize for the laughter you heard in the background. It belongs to the kid who's talking right now, actually. Me. Anyways, the girls' varsity basketball team also had a heartbreaking finish in the first round of the playoffs against Rye Country Day. But we would just like to commend both varsity basketball teams for having such great runs and building off of their previous years. We truly cannot wait for what they hold in store next year, which you'll be able to catch right here on the Lions Report. In other news, the girls' varsity softball team had an extraordinary win by a score of 25-0 against Trinity last Wednesday. Not a bad way to start their season, especially coming off of a loss to Poly Prep in the last inning of the state tournament finals. In other news, the varsity baseball team also had an 11-0 win against Columbia Prep last Friday. That was their second win of the season. Anyways, that's going to do it from the Lions Report. I'm Jack Dolgen, and thanks for watching.